I'm Sinead and this is presentation B. Today I'm going to talk about the use of group work in education and the way that people act when they're in a group compared to when they're working individually. Although people do act differently in group tasks, and some I will mention might be bad, but I do still believe that group work in education is a good idea and should be supported. So firstly, I'd just like to briefly mention a background to why education systems use group work. So it's thought that group work is used in schools in order for children to develop their communication, social and decision-making skills, also to learn how to work with others and make compromises. For higher education, group work is mainly encouraged to prepare students for the future, as it's likely that they will experience group projects and group work when they're in their career. It is also used as group members are likely to have a range of different skills and unique abilities, so students can help each other and they can learn new ideas from each other. And again, group work can encourage communication and cooperation through the members. So Bryson wanted to see if students learn better when working alone or with a group, but along the way, all he really discovered is that the group is just formed of different people and the different personalities. So think back to when you've been asked to work in a group, whether it's at school or in higher education. Groups usually formed of different people. There's sometimes one person who doesn't do any work and everybody else has to do all the work and get stressed out because of that person. But there's sometimes one person who is just be in charge and the others can feel like they're trying to take control of the project. So why do we act like this when we're involved with group work, and how does this affect the way we learn? If we start with the group members who failed to contribute, Ringelmann in 1913 noticed that when individuals were placed in a group, their individual efforts decreased. So in other words, they actually worked less hard when they're in a group compared to when they're on their own. Latané et al. Suggested that this is due to a lack of motivation, and they termed this social loafing. So it's thought that social loafing occurs because group members think that they can get away with not doing any work because everybody else in the group, they think they'll be doing the work for them. Jean, 1991, wanted to expand on this and explained three reasons for why people might social loaf. The first one, output equity. They might think that everyone else in the group is loafing, so they don't want to seem like a sucker doing all the work for them. Another reason, evaluation apprehension. So they feel as though they're hidden within the group, so nobody might not notice that they're not doing any work. And the third point was matching to standard. So they simply might just not know how to behave because they don't know what to match to, what standard they should be working at. Social loafing could affect the way students learn because, well, simply they aren't doing any work. Both points 1 and 2 could be helped in schools by ensuring that teachers are supervising to make sure everyone is working, and perhaps a checklist could be put into place so people could say who's done what, so everyone can actually see who has done work. To solve point 3, a clear performance standard could be put in place so people know what to act to. So what about the people who do contribute? Zaccaro, 1984, noticed that some people actually exceed their individual potential when they're involved in group work. So what about these members who do contribute? What are their reasons for working so hard in a group compared to on their own? William and Carew, 1991, believe that this is due to social compensation, meaning that they feel the need to work harder to compensate for the social loafers like I've just mentioned. Another reason for why individuals work harder is simply because they like their teammates and they really don't want to let them down. Individuals with these attitudes at college or university may benefit from working in a group as they realise their full potential and can realise how hard they can actually work when they try. In terms of schools, children may improve their social skills as they will learn that sometimes they have to be responsible for the sake of others as well. So, people who contribute too much, do you think this is possible? The comments I received on my blog seem to reveal that when students were asked to work in a group, they always felt like an unwanted leader appeared, somebody who always seemed to take charge and try to do all the work and then boss people around. So I decided to look into this further to find out more about leaders and the motives behind them. And as it turns out, groups are considered actually more effective if they do have a leader. The general motives behind the leader are need achievement and need affiliation. Need achievement is describing the individual's consistent attempt to try and succeed at tasks, whereas need affiliation is the need to maintain or gain good relationships with other group members. So I personally think that perhaps people who attempt to be leaders aren't intentionally meaning to come across as bossy, they just really want to succeed and help the group. So that may actually be really beneficial to groups. Considering the way people act in groups, why do you think schools and education practices still encourage the group work? Well, group work in education is considered an effective method to motivate students to work hard, to develop their critical thinking, communication and decision-making skills. For schools, group work helps children to learn how different people work, and it teaches them how to compromise with others, how to deal with petty arguments as well, and as well as actually helping them in that area that they're trying to study. It could also be suggested that group work gives children a different idea of personalities, and sometimes that you have to work harder in order to get a task done. It may also encourage children to realise that they have to work hard in groups because they don't want to let everybody else down. So to conclude, despite the way some people behave when in groups, I think that group work should be encouraged in education, especially in schools, as it teaches children how to cooperate and with others and develops many skills for them. Also, the more group work is encouraged, perhaps the less social loafing will occur, especially if the solutions are put in place to try and prevent social loafing. So thank you for listening, and any questions? Yeah?
Steve, I think as well as it's an issue when you work in groups as well.
Yeah.
So say you are a social loafer and you see others working harder.
Yeah.
And you could be doing it because it's like you're not interested in something, maybe it's that you've got low self-esteem or you feel embarrassed or introverted.
Yeah.
And if I'm working in groups as well, that helps to communicate better
Yeah.
and form friendships as well.
So what I said was self-esteem could be a problem, but group work can actually help because it can encourage them to talk, especially maybe if it's a small group. Maybe they can build their, again, like communication and confidence. That. Anything else? Nope. So thank you.